little ditty about John Rich's plan. American kid growing up in the Ku Klux Klan. John Rich is going to be a football star. Wanted to play 10 years, only got to 7. That's not that far. I'm sorry.
Hilarious.
A little something I'm working on.
Nice.
A little piece of America.
Hey, I can put some music to that. I got to grab the
Let's do it.
playable guitar.
You can concentrate on all the disappointments in my life. It'll be like Mountain. It'll be like the Allman Brothers Mountain Jam live.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go. This is big for us, man. We have a real life, respected broadcaster in Sochi, Russia, in Mother Russia, talking some snap about the Olympics. Kenny Albert in Russia for the Olympics. What's up, Ken?
Artie, what I would like to know, in your long history of tremendous broadcasts, have you ever spoken to anyone who was looking out his hotel window at the Black Sea? That's the first.
I've spoken to guys who were looking out their hotel window at a black hooker. But that's not you.
I know.
That's not you. You're a good man. Well, listen, no, Ken, how long you been there for?
Got here on, so we left from, so it took about 9.5 hours direct. Pretty excellent flight, and landed here about noon Sochi time on Sunday. So missed the Super Bowl, slept through the Super Bowl Sunday night. Lights, but it's been 4.5 days now.
It sounds like who else slept through the Super Bowl? Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, well, you're cutting in and out.
It sounds like your phone's getting tapped now.
You're cutting in and out. So if we stop,
sounds like you're in Russia.
We're not being rude.
Yeah. Did you see all the information, Kenny, about everyone's phones getting hacked? Their computers are hacked. Every phone line. Russia is basically saying don't count on any privacy while you're here in Russia, not even in your hotel room. Right. Does that worry you at all? Are we being listened to?
I'm not too concerned about any of the emails that I send out. So I'm not too concerned about it. But I do have to say, and I'm trying to stand in one place here so that the phone doesn't go in and out.
No, you're good now. You're good now, yeah.
There we go, okay.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I've read some of the reports about various, folks' hotel accommodations. And
yes.
Ours is terrific. We're in a hotel right by the Olympic Park, and it couldn't be better. I mean, the food's very good, and we walk out of our hotel, and many of the NBC folks are staying here that are involved in the hockey and the figure skating and the curling, which I know is a favorite of yours, Artie. 4 years.
So Ken, you're in one of those 5-star Russian hotels where the water can touch your face.
I just took a shower.
Oh, good.
Everything seems to be okay. Great water pressure. It's a new hotel. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first person staying in this room, and I've heard that from other folks as well. But we literally walked 50 yards, not even, maybe 30 yards out of our hotel, and we are at the security entrance to the Olympic Park, and then it's another 10 minutes or so to the hockey rink. So the accommodations and the food really so far could not be much better.
Well, so have you seen anything sort of out of the ordinary inconvenience-wise? Because the stories we're getting here are really insane.
And I've heard some of them, on the internet and from other folks, but no, I think as far as what we've seen, I mean, there was a day, they run together here on Tuesday. They held a rehearsal for the opening ceremony, so it definitely took extra time to get through security that day because there were so many extra folks. A couple of my colleagues did take a run on the beach on the Black Sea yesterday.
Really?
And they wound up right at the border of Georgia, apparently. So I'm not sure I'm going to attempt to do that. I don't run very often, and B, I'm not sure I want to wind up at the Georgia border. But we ventured out about a quarter mile to a quote real restaurant last night. We had eaten most of our meals either in the hotel or at the broadcast facility, and it was real good. It was sort of an Italian restaurant. You could tell it's new, built for the Olympics. Most of the people in there were media. And, the prices were a lot lower than we expected. I had spaghetti bolognese, and some of the other guys had risotto, and it was a terrific meal.
Oh, well, listen, so you're, you got no complaints.
No, positive reports. We've spent, I'm involved in both the women's hockey and the men's hockey, and the women start first before the NHL players get over. So We've been over at practices, and I think the highlight for me so far, Artie, was yesterday going to both the German and the Russian hockey practices and finding they both have some players who speak English and who have spent time in the United States at U.S. colleges, and recording on my iPhone these players running down their roster and pronouncing the names correctly, because you look at some of these rosters and you're not quite sure. So I now have on my iPhone pronunciations of these hockey teams. And we also run into familiar faces. Alexei Yashin, who played in the NHL for about 15 years.
Love her.
With Ottawa and the Islanders. He's the general manager of the Russian women's team. He was actually out on the ice skating with them yesterday. And then we chatted with him after practice.
Ken, is it hard to broadcast a women's hockey game because you're laughing so hard?
Well, I will say this, Art. It does go a lot slower than the men's games.
I'm sure.
But the story I tell is and these women are obviously great athletes, and the U.S. and Canada are so far of the other countries as far as women's hockey goes.
They are?
They played in all but one of the gold medal games so far in both the Olympics and the World Championships. But the first game I ever did at the Olympics in 2002 was the USA against China.
Right.
And the goalie for China was nicknamed the Great Wall. And was concerned about pronouncing the names because we were handed a pronunciation guide about 5 minutes before the game, but B, it was my first game at the Olympics. So, but the good thing that game was Team China never outshot them like 30-2 in the first period.
Oh.
You didn't really have to see too many games aside from Wall, the goaltender.
Wow. And now, have you made a joke like Team Vud China, like stuff like that?
I'll you those, Artie.
Really? I couldn't pull it off. I couldn't pull it off either, quite frankly. Again, you're going in and out, and again, it's not your fault, obviously. But if we get disconnected, but don't take it wrong. We're going to try to get through it. What, John? Do you have any Olympic questions for Kenny Albert?
I remember you talking about, we were here with the guest, Jason Lawhead, who was talking about he's just getting into hockey. He loves hockey. We're talking about how difficult it must be to call these games with the speed of the game and everything that's going on. I mean, do you have to watch film and brush up and practice this type of thing before you get in and actually do the real deal?
Well, John, I think it's definitely a challenge Olympics because the women's players, aside from the U.S. and Canada, you haven't really heard of too many of them. Though I have a bit of a background having worked prior Olympics, and a lot of the players are the same. But on the men's side, there are 6 countries where it's primarily NHL players. So those are the reasons. They're the guys you watch every year: U.S., Canada, Sweden, Finland, Russia, and the Czech Republic, and even Slovakia. About half their team is from the NHL. But it's the other countries, Latvia and Slovenia and Norway and, a couple of others who have a few NHL players, but then the rest, you're not familiar with. So I think the biggest challenge is learning the players and learning the names. It's not like doing an NHL game where you know every player and you see the teams 4 or 5 times a year. So it's a lot of volume. It's 8 women's teams and 12 men's teams in the course of 2 weeks, and sometimes today and I think one day. That's the biggest challenge, is just doing all the homework, getting prepared, and learning all the players.
Yeah, and some pronunciations, insane pronunciations.
You don't have to describe everything. You don't have to mention every player that has the puck, but it's definitely a challenge, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, you could practice on the women's games for the men's games. That's a perfect way to do it. Hey,
a little slow intro.
Ken, listen, I suspect that my girlfriend might be cheating on me. When you have dinner with Edward Snowden, could you ask about her email?
You're coming in and out, Artie. I can't hear every word you're saying.
When you have dinner with Edward Snowden, could you ask about the emails?
Just kidding. He was not at dinner last night, as far as I know.
Do you plan on running into him?
That's a good question. We heard a rumor that President Putin was eating with the Olympic athletes yesterday over at the Village. So I guess running into the president's always a possibility as well.
Are you insanely worried that you'll by accident call him President Putin?
He was not
Poopin.
He was not one of the names that I, as far as the Olympic rosters. So I may have to today.
Now, are you in fear at all, like for your safety? Do you ever think about that? Or you're just there to do your job? But do you think, this terrorist stuff and Russia and some corruption might be going on? Do you have any fears at all?
Sports and you read the articles, but it just sounds like from everything I've heard that there are so many security measures in place and the folks who are hosting the Olympics obviously want everything to go off perfectly and this in Sochi is a summer resort and I think the Olympics will go a long way towards promoting it's in the south of Russia right on the Black Sea and they've put billions and billions of dollars into this but I think you have to have faith in the authorities and the way I look at it is I'm in Manhattan 2-3 times a week, certain times of the year. So you never know what can happen when you walk down the street there or in Los Angeles or any other city you go to. So I think you just have to put your trust in the authorities. And, there's a ring of steel around this city. And there's so many security procedures we have to go through to get into the Olympic venue. So, you're definitely aware of the reports, but you kind of put it out of your mind and go do your job.
What is the weather like? It being the southern resort town with palm trees and stuff. They're buying snow apparently and going to use it.
It's a southern resort town, John. And if the viewers check out my Twitter feed, I posted a number of pictures, including some of palm trees, and the weather's been great. It's similar to Vancouver 4 years ago, where the temperatures were in the high 30s, 40s. It's been around 40, 45 here. And, the mountain cluster, as they call it, which is where all the skiing events are going to be held, is about 30 to 45 minutes away. I have not been up there. Oh. And apparently they've been importing snow and saving snow. We could see the snow on the mountains from here, from the hotel and the what they call the coastal cluster, which is where the hockey and the skating and the curling, et cetera, venues are. Mm-hmm. So there is snow up there in the mountains, but where we are, it almost feels like spring. It's like 40 degrees. It does get colder at night, and there are palm trees everywhere, and I'm looking out at the beach.
Jeez.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Yeah. Ken, do you think we can get through one interview where you don't plug your Twitter?
I was about to plug yours, too.
Thank you. Jason Lawhead, any questions?
Yeah,
Jason's a great comedian, a big sports fan.
Pleasure to talk to you, Kenny. I just want to know, if it does come down to something, you'll be doing all the hockey broadcasting, and are you allowed to say, do you believe in miracles? No, wait, you're not allowed to in this country. Is something like that? Is that going to happen?
Good question.
Very funny story for you, Jason, and I'm one of three. There are 3 hockey crews here. Doc Emmerich and I will do the play-by-play games. We split those games, and he'll do the gold medal game. I'll do the bronze, and then Dave Schrader comes in. So Doc, Dave, and myself will do the men's games. We're waiting at the airport on Sunday. We had just flown 9.5 hours. This is a true story, guys. So we're waiting for our luggage, and the plane was full of NBC personnel. It was a charter flight, so you have and production people. And we're standing around waiting for the luggage. We got through customs real quick, and I was among the 5 or 10 folks whose luggage came out towards the end. And one of the others standing there with Al Michaels and a couple of other guys, and we're talking about the Olympics. And again, he's one of the last waiting on his bags, and his first bag comes out. And I leaned over to him and said, "Do you believe in miracles?"
Very nice. Very, very witty. Very nice. Good now, on the NBC shuttle was the guy who played the soup Nazi. Was he on there?
Didn't see, but there were so many people, I'm missed him. Sure, I just missed him.
Hey, Ken, so what do any one thing or event, dinner, meeting you're looking forward to over there that you're excited about?
Well, it was cool, Artie, on Monday. Now, it was the first full day we were here, so a lot of us were struggling to, it's a 9-hour difference, New York and the Eastern time zones. So I spent 1 hours without sleep, aside from naps on the plane, 30 minutes.
Sounds like a 2-planet difference.
Sleep here Sunday night. And then Monday, we're meeting in the afternoon where you had all the NBC announcers, and in the room are Al Michaels and Bob Costas and Dan Patrick, and then you have some of the former Olympics, Tara Lipinski and Apollo Anton Ono. So everybody's in this room. all the play-by-play announcers, all the analysts, all the sideline reporters. So it's really neat to get that whole group together for the 2-hour meeting on Monday.
That's fun. You're going in and out a little more, but Ken, we got enough out of you. We really, really appreciate it. Sorry about the connection. Hope to talk to you again soon. Have fun over there and be careful, brother.
You got it. Thanks, Artie.
All right, Ken. Good job, man. Kenny Albert, rolling with the punches.
Love his NFL play-by-play.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. Sounds like he's like orbiting the Earth right now.
I know.
That
great sense of humor. Look, he's in Russia. He's in Sochi, Russia. Mrs. Gaffire, your thoughts on this?
I hope he stays safe. He's a good man, Arthur, because, he's really nice. I love Marv and him, his daddy and him. He's great.
Any additional thoughts on the Olympics themselves?
Now I'm kind of ticked off. The Brits aren't doing that well with it, Art. We were never, Olympic kind of people, but...
Well, yeah, you were.
Yeah, you Chariots of Fire. You ever watch that movie?
When was this? No.
Can you get something right?
I mean, come on.
No. You must be... No. You always... No. The Americans are so oafish. No, Arthur. No.
What does that mean? Americans oafish? How did that get into the conversation?
Oh, because, Americans are know-it-alls, Arthur, because, the crown, we started
Well,
you
it
guys
sounds
out.
like you're a know-it-all.
No, Mrs. Doubtfire is nice because she's getting kind of jet-lagged, Arthur, because it's a long flight back to London. And,
You drove from Staten Island.
No, we came from Manchester, Arthur, because it's a long flight.
You're starting to lose the character.
No. Not at all, Arthur, because we were drinking on the flight, and it was kind of...
I hear Staten Island in there now.
Well,
Stay
Arthur.
committed to your craft.
I am, Arthur, because I am.
What?
John.
I am
because I am.
A little cappuccino.
Yes, John, stick up for a lady because it's only proper. Arthur's picking on me because, you should...
I'll stick up for a lady when you find one, pal.
John, give him a good one. That's what they were doing where I'm from because...
With you as a
cream
woman,
and your sugar now.
with you as a woman, chivalry should be executed.
John, get him a good trouncing for me because that's what they would do in my place because if Arthur picked me, Johnny would be giving me a good trouncing.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.